Easy peasy. All right. What is going on, everybody? And welcome back to the 1% podcast. Today, I'm excited to have, I was going to say hashtag Philly, but I'm not. I'm going to say Philippa on the podcast. Welcome, my love. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm good. Philippa sounds so serious. I feel
It
like I'm being told
does.
by parents, to be honest, but
Does. There's those names in there. I feel like it's like Charlotte, Stephanie. I feel like, I'm like,
yeah, yeah. No, absolutely all over that. I honestly, I feel like my name's so pretentious. It's going off on a different tangent. Whenever anyone calls me Philippa, I'm like, oh God.
no, it's awesome. Well, I've completely lost my train of thought. Okay,
Sorry.
this is always the question. Before we dive into everything, what do I need to understand about you in the past that has built you into the woman you are today? So kind of what was your upbringing like and things like that? Like from high school, like what was life like as like growing up?
Sure. So I was probably not what you would imagine my childhood to be. I was very unathletic. I did no sport. I was not into anything overly helpful when I was growing up. I don't think. I remember school being pretty rough, didn't really enjoy it. I was very, very underweight when I was in school as well. So I didn't really want to be there. I got bullied quite a lot. It wasn't really a good time for me.
Mm.
But a lot of that kind of taught me what I needed to know to sort of push me down the route of, obviously both of us have gone down the route of fitness and pursuing that. And it's, yeah, it was definitely a complete 180 to what I was like as a child. But
What
yeah.
where did you grow? Did you grow up in kind of this like the area that you're in Southampton? So you're born and raised in that area?
Yeah, born and raised near
Okay.
Southampton. Southampton's the easiest to say because everyone knows where it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, round about there, born and raised. I ended up moving up north for a little bit, and then I've come back again because I just think I'm a southern girl at heart, really.
Yeah, the North's a bit. Not going to say anything from everyone's at North, but the South is just better.
I do think people are nicer up north, though. I have to say, I really notice that every time I go up there because my mum's from Manchester. When you go up there, everyone's so friendly.
Yeah, that is true. I was nearly moved to Manchester. Before I moved here, I nearly moved to Manchester just because like the fitness scene was better up there. Like it was just like there was way better gyms and there was better like all my friends seemed to be up north as well. And I was just like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know really. It's like a weird, but then South kind of feels just more, I guess because we're both from there, it feels just more homely. Yeah, it's like yeah, I couldn't get you. Did you go to university?
I did. I did. I went to Loughborough.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
my undergrad and my master's there, and I'm going back to university. Could you believe that? I never thought if you told me then I'd be going back ever, but
Yeah.
I'm doing a master's in physiotherapy starting next year. So
Amazing. Shit.
yeah, so
And that's at Loughborough still?
not at Loughborough, no. I'm still a little bit undecided. I've got a couple more interviews to go for different unis. So
Sick.
either way I'm going. I'm glad I'm in a position where I've had at least one offer. So it's like I know I have a plan, regardless
Yeah,
of what's happening. I have a plan.
that's
So
awesome.
yeah.
What happened? Like, what was, because obviously you did high school and then you kind of went to university. Because I know you've been, when was when did you get in the fitness world and since like health, fitness? Like, what was the initial, how did you get into it all and things like that?
Yeah. So as I said before, I was really skinny as a teenager and really underweight, like not very well underweight. And for me, I really wanted to get into fitness and sort of build the physique that I wanted. And by that, I kind of mean abs. I think that was pretty much it. I just wanted abs. I didn't want anything else. It was
Yeah,
that typical kind of what you see on Women's Health back in the day.
it's true.
That, and I didn't really know what I was doing. I spent so many years in the gym doing all the wrong things, but the intention was there.
That's all that matters.
Like I was trying, I just wasn't eating enough for a long time. But I think that was a good starting point for me. I was probably about 17 when I started going to the gym.
Yeah,
And it did take me a solid sort of 5 years until I started to sort of do it in the better way. But I was still going, I'm still enjoying it. It just, yeah, it's just a massive learning curve, isn't it? You probably found the same thing when you started
gotcha.
training.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha. I think, you know, it's the weird thing now. It's like everyone feels like I don't know if it's just me, but everyone feels like they need the answer and handed to them.
Yeah.
Like, I swear to God, like probably the same for you. Like I spent 3 years just fucking around, like
Yeah.
just being like, does this work? Does that work? Like watching YouTube videos all the time, and like that's kind of how we learn. But no one seems to do that now. Like no one takes initiative to learn.
No, I think in a way, I don't know when you started, probably similar time to me, I would imagine, but like there wasn't much around to help. So like you kind of just
Yeah,
with it. Like I remember, obviously, I grew up in the countryside. There was no other girls. There's a tiny gym, no other girls there. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was just rolling with it, and I was reading women's health magazines, which were just awful information in there, like absolutely useless. But there wasn't, there wasn't online coaching. There wasn't anyone that could really help. There wasn't
no, that's
Instagram,
true.
anything you could see or do or follow, really. So I think it was kind of just you just try stuff,
Yeah,
don't you? See what works and what doesn't.
but it's weird, isn't it? Because I think that's probably, I guess it answers, I guess it answers it, right? Because I think now it's paralyzing. I get it. Like, I kind of, if you
Yeah.
kind of try and get into the gym now, you're like, you've got about 50, like, you'll have an opinion. Jess is going to have an opinion. Lily's going to have an opinion. All the opinions work because it's what you guys have done and it's your methods. But I'm like, there's a million ways to skin a cat kind of thing. So it's like, what do I do? Do I do glutes on this day or not on this day? Like, do you know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
I think it's got its pros and cons for sure. Like for now, like when I go to the gym now, I see so many. It's the thing to do, isn't it, for young girls to come into the gym now? Younger people are starting much earlier on.
yeah,
They seem to know what they're doing from the get-go, and I'm just like, fair play. Like I was not doing anything that well when I was your age, absolutely not. So I think it's got its positives in that sense, where they can at least follow like technique advice and things like that more
yeah,
easily than maybe we could. But there is so much information that it's almost too much to kind of
yeah.
know how to navigate.
I think the night, I don't know, because like again, like the only reason we're having this conversation is because of social media, and the
Yeah.
only reason we're like I probably followed you for probably X amount of years is because of like fucking social media, right? So I feel like I kind of know your life, but I don't. And it's the same when it comes to that training aspect. It's like there's all the information online, but we're on the good side of it now, if that makes sense. Like I feel like now, like people can see through shit and stuff like that. People know social media is like, well, hopefully people know that social media is taking it with a pinch of salt. But there was a period where it was just like, it was just the
Yeah.
holy grail, like, and it was just fucking shit being sold to and shoved down your throat the whole time. So yeah, like you say, I think it is nice seeing, but also it's pretty impressive. You see people like 22 years old, and you're like, you're 22, holy shit! Like, how long have you been doing this for? And it's absolutely wild. It's insane. But it's weird how like health and beauty and cosmetic and all that sort of stuff is like trendy. Like it's weird. It's like who if you started tattooing 15 years ago, it's like oh frowned upon. Now you'd probably be raking it in. Like
Yeah. It's really weird because when I think back to what I was doing at that age, it wasn't anything useful. I don't know.
no,
You see kids now and they're in the gym, they know how to do all their makeup and their hair. And I'm just like, okay, at that age, I was definitely wearing purple eyeshadow and doing some like
yeah,
absolute useless things. I don't know. I think a lot of them have grown up so quickly because of social media. And it is the real trendy thing to do, isn't it? To go to the gym. Like that is what
yeah.
age groups sort of meet up and do now, which is wild to me.
Yeah, because I'm at that like I don't I'm 29, so it's like I'm at the age where I think about kids and like the future and stuff like that. So it's like, do I want my kids? I kind of want them to be a child like we were. Like I didn't know what shit was till I was 17, but like you're gonna know this shit at fucking 10. I'm like, how do you? I don't know. It's that's a whole different ball
Trust me,
game when it's
I'm the same age as you. That's obviously gone through my head as well. And it's like, I don't know how you navigate it now, honestly, because I'm so glad I didn't have technology, didn't have, Instagram, social media when I was growing up. But you'd just be that really uncool parent if you're like, no,
yeah.
you can't do it, can you? You just got to figure out
No,
what.
because it's like it's the same with like job roles, isn't it? It's like no one's gonna. When was the last time? Like I write in a diary just because it's like I prefer to, but like who writes shit nowadays? Like you're never gonna write on pen and paper, like, and you're never gonna use skills that we learn at school. Like, what's the need? Because you have technology to do it. So you're like, it's kind of like delaying their growth and their opportunity if you eliminate or keep
Sure.
technology away from them. Yeah, it's bizarre. Fucking, how much do you give them? Do you give them much? Do you give them a time limit? I don't fucking know. Like,
No, trust it is
yeah,
terrifying. See the idea of having
yeah,
I don't
no,
know what it like, and it's going to evolve so much anyway. Over the next sort of give it 10 years, it will be completely different
oh,
again.
yeah, God, yeah. The rate that things are going now is insane. So
Yeah.
back to you, back to your fitness and back to your life. So it's fine. Um, Obviously, I get. When did you start going to the gym? Then, so if I can work this out in timelines, so if we're the same age, like when, how long have you been training for, roughly?
12 years, about there or thereabouts. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's probably about right. When was like, when did you start? I don't know, because I feel like I've seen different chapters in your life and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When did you start taking it seriously, or because I know that you worked with a couple of companies, or do you know what I mean? Like, what? How long have you been coaching for, type of thing as well? Like, what's been that process as well?
So I think my whole fitness game changed a lot when I went to uni because obviously I was at Loughborough. It was very sporty. I was around
It's
much
true.
more knowledge of people that actually know how to do stuff. So I picked up on that. And I started coaching just a little bit whilst I was there, just on the side. When I graduated from my master's, I actually ended up working for a sports nutrition company. So I was doing that. And again, it was a side hustle, very much the coaching side of things.
Yeah.
And then we ended up going full time coaching in 2019.
Okay.
So
Cool.
since then, yeah.
Yeah, shit. Okay. And have you been, did you ever do face to face stuff, or have you been just all online?
I actually, do you know what? I did a lot of face to face stuff last year, which I was
Okay.
really enjoying actually. But I got a really bad injury, which meant that I couldn't do it anymore. So I essentially had to move entirely back online. So it's been a little bit of a mixture over the years, but yeah, I've quite enjoyed that because I think I don't know about you, but I do miss the face to face stuff. It's funny how we end up talking to people all day long, but you don't talk to people at the same time. Like there's not
Yeah.
actually a conversation with a human in real life.
Yeah. It's a bizarre concept, isn't it? Because I was face to face until COVID, pretty much. So I was like, I was in Reading and then I was in London. So I would say for like, give or take, like 6 years face to face.
Yeah,
And it is a weird, it's only been in the last year where I've like, I think that I would say struggle to an extent. Like mine's like, I felt a lot lonelier and a bit lost, more also on say lost, but just like maybe it is that human connection that I feel like, or just that kind of change in life sort of thing. And I actually did start taking on a couple of face to face here as well.
yeah,
But then I did it and I was just like, it's kind of shit. It's a weird limbo because I was like, it's kind of shit as well. Unless it's someone that I want to spend an hour with, it's really hard to like, because I'm an introvert. So I'd actually rather be on my own for an
sure.
hour. Like a
Yeah,
weird kind of,
yeah,
yeah, it is a tricky one. It is really tricky. But
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know where, I don't even know where I stand on it now, to be honest. So
Yeah. It is strange like that because I think I can completely relate to everything you said, where you obviously end up very on your or you're on your own a lot when you're just doing online stuff, aren't you? But then at the same time, I'm very much like you. I'd have to really hype myself up for like a session with someone because you have to be that motivational
yeah,
that someone wants and be really sociable. But I'm very much like you. I'm a bit of an introvert too. So like I can do that. It's fine. I'm good at it. And then I come away and I'm knackered. Like that's
yes,
how I feel. So
yeah. But it's
really,
kind of like you say, it's a good one as well because you have to force yourself to be actually happy for an hour.
yeah.
Like, and it's sometimes that's what you need. I remember it was a bit of, I don't know if it was a good moment or a bit of a sad moment. I remember when I was coaching someone in London, he was like, this is the best hour of my week. And I was like, in my head, I was like, that's cool. But I'm like, that's really sad as well. Cause I'm like, especially when they had like a family to go back to as well, like he had kids and stuff like that. I'm like, maybe I took it out of context, but like, didn't fucking
Yeah.
like his job, just enjoyed that hour once a week or whatever it was. And I was like, fair. And it did make you realize, like, actually, like, I'm glad that I like 80% of what I do on a day to day basis. Do you know what I mean? I think that's a weird, I think it's sad that people
Yeah.
feel like that
Yeah.
because it's hard when you feel like that 20% of the time.
Yeah. Absolutely. it's tricky sometimes if you've got a back-to-back day of in person, because each person, like, that's the start of their time with you, and you have to be just as motivated, just as happy, and just as exciting every single time someone comes through the door, which is
Yeah.
hard. But especially if you're having whatever going on in your life and you've got to kind of, put that on. But
I think that's actually one of the reasons I actually reached out to you, to be honest, for this, is because I've seen probably over the last 6 months, obviously you've had the current injury and stuff like that, and
yeah,
I know how like, especially when you've been active your entire life, and like
yeah,
it feels like it takes a part of your soul away from you.
yeah,
And I even know that, like, I just had a sore shoulder like a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, I was a fucking miserable prick just because like I couldn't lift my arm up for like 48 hours. So I guess like how have you been feeling from, like, because I tell me a bit about what happened from like the injury aspect, and if you obviously if you're open to talking about
yeah.
it.
It's trying to explain it, I suppose, because I still don't really have the answers that I need.
Yeah.
So all this for me started 14 months ago, so it's been a long time. And initially they thought it was a herniated disc in my back. Basically, what I'm struggling with is nerve pain down my leg. So any lower body movement, even walking, triggers it for me. So like I really, really struggle. And obviously, as I alluded to earlier, that meant that I couldn't do my job. I had to change online. I still can't go for a walk outside because I can't walk properly. And it's
Yeah.
been of that for me. So I've been through all sorts. I've been through physio. I've had nerve block injections in my back that didn't work, and I just had a lot done over the last year. They're now moving it across to whether it's a nerve being compressed somewhere in my hip. So I'm having some more steroid injections next week to see whether that
Damn.
kind of is more of a diagnostic tool to see if it helps. Are we on to something? Da, da, da. But it's been the most long-winded process ever, and the worst injury I've ever had by a million miles.
Do you
Yeah.
know? Do you know anything that like you like? I felt it, or was it just like a? Did it just come out the blue type of thing?
It relatively came out of the blue. My hips started to get a bit sore when I was doing squat sessions. I was doing quite a heavy squat program at the time, which was going really well. Actually, I was having a really good training block, and I was like, "This is great." I was loving it, and then I was doing a lot of swimming as well, and then it just suddenly came on. And then I think for a month or two, I was sort of trying to kind of work through it, and it just wasn't having it, and it just got worse and worse and worse and worse, and to the point where I was struggling to even get out of bed for a solid 6 months of last year. So yeah, it's
Jesus.
but
Damn. How's it been feeling recently? Because obviously, like, so long. Has it got easier, or because you've been doing certain things, or it's just no, it's still the same?
honestly, like, still the same. I can walk very slowly. I still feel really stupid, to be honest. You know, when you're in public, and I got overtaken by a man with a Zimmer frame the other day, an old man, and I was like, wow, this is a humbling experience. But yeah,
I know.
it's not at a place where I can't do any lower body at all. It's just not having it. It flares up every single time I've ever tried. Walking
Yeah.
is I have to do really slowly. And to be honest, confidence wise, I think I only really have the confidence to walk around the house. I get really like nervous and anxious as soon as I go outside, because for me, it's always been when I've been walking outside that I've had a really bad flare up, and then I've struggled because I don't know how to get home. Like, particularly if it's a panicky thing, it's like a crap.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what to do. So I'm still not really in a place where I'm comfortable to do that, which is a shame, because like I miss that. I feel like I haven't barely been outside for the last year, which is really,
Yeah. Man.
it's
Damn.
dear about it. So
That's hard. That is. Yeah. I don't even have any words for it, to be honest. Like, do you know what though?
yeah,
It's a weird thing though. It's like, I think the nice thing is when you've trained like you have for so long, and you've had your own business and stuff like that, it teaches you just some form of like resilience, and
yeah,
kind of like sometimes hope as well. Like, it's this weird thing, you hold on to hope and resilience, and that'll be the thing that honestly, like, that you do things every single day that at least you try. Do you know what I mean? I think that's the nice thing when fitness teaches you that. And when you run
Yeah.
your own business. And again, when you put like again, like I would never kind of follow someone if I didn't think they had a very similar morals and upbringing and stuff like that. So I think like just your personality and resilience and will just keep just day by day just dragging you through it. 'Cause
Thank
it's
I
one of
do.
those ones where like you know it won't last forever. It's just like just fucking find it quicker. Like
Yeah, literally that. I think I have really struggled, I think, with social media in particular over the last year because I don't want to show up as negative or like feeling almost like a victim to my injury. And I'm very conscious like I don't want to do that. So I did have a lot of time last year where I just didn't know what to say on here, like on
yeah,
Instagram. Don't want to just show up and be like, oh, this is crap, the world's crap, everything's rubbish. It's like, what
yeah,
good does it do anybody? But at the same time, like I still am trying to be quite honest with the journey that
yeah.
I'm through, but it's a fine line to tread, I think, with that because
Oh,
it's, trying to be positive. I've lost a lot of followers since I started talking about it as well, which is funny. It's like
fuck
people,
it.
well, don't care, do they? But that's fine. I still just want to be true to kind of what I'm going through. And I definitely, if I can help anybody that's going through something similar, that's worth it to me, 100%.
Yeah.
So
But that's it.
yeah,
But you're real. Like that's the difference. Like I know exactly what you mean when you kind of I had the same conversation with someone yesterday. Where's the fine line? Where do you let your like everything out, exactly
yeah,
how you feel, or where do you draw the line, being like keeping things personal to you? And like you say, at the end of the day, you are your brand. So there's a point where you do have to say, "Hey, I'm struggling," but like
yeah,
if you say you're fucking like you can't get out of bed for fucking 6 months, and do you know what I mean, like
yeah,
I know exactly what you mean. Like, how do you think it's our minds as well? It's our minds being like, well, what will our clients think of us, or what will this think, and like exactly. But like, the truth is, it's just like it's just one of those ones. Like, who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? If people unfollow you because you got an injury, I'm like, you're a fucking wanker anyway. So fuck off. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? It's like Jesus Christ. Like,
It's hard to navigate though because like I say, I don't want to be that negative person, but I'm trying to be real. But at the same time, if I think, do I want to follow someone who's like literally just like crying all the time? No. So like, I don't want to show up as that person either. And I also don't think it always helps me because sometimes I need to almost put on a positive front to then
hmm,
even try and feel it myself. It's always like fake it till you make it kind of
yeah, of
mentality,
course, yeah.
uh, which is tough to kind of do all the time because like there has certainly been days that I haven't shared everything on Instagram because I
And
can't
nor
like there
should you. Nor should you. Yeah,
is so flattened by it. But do you
yeah,
know it's one of those things like what do? You can't just roll over on the floor and give up. Like it's just you've got to
yeah,
keep so
yeah.
you just do somehow, don't you?
Yes, and also as well as how people portray it as well. It's just because we sit here and think because we hold ourselves at this high standard of like we train, we eat, we look after ourselves and things like that. So when you're kind of like a bit low, you just think you always need to be at this level the whole time. If anything less is just not worthy type of
Yeah,
thing. But actually, like also we just that's just us assuming that's what people think as well. It's weird, isn't it? And when actually like because I watch your stuff and I don't, I'm just like she's going through a hard time. Like, I don't. Do you know what I mean? It's weird how you don't. Whoever portrays it differently will unfollow you, or will just actually follow the process with you.
yeah, definitely. I think half the time it is just us putting that unnecessary
Uh,
pressure.
we're we're assholes to ourselves. We know we are.
Yeah, I've had to really change my mindset towards training over the past year and a bit. Like, I've not progressed in any way, shape, or form. I've progressed in every possible way. But like, do you know, it is what it is. It's
Yeah,
like, I just can't. I can't constantly give energy to something I have no control over. I just
yeah,
can't. So you have to just accept it sometimes for what it is and just roll with
yeah,
it, which is hard, really hard to do, particularly if you are someone who does put pressure on yourself and has high standards for yourself.
yeah. Like you said, it's just that opportunity to put energy elsewhere, right? Like like you said, going back to studying and things like that, putting energy into areas that you can control. How have you been training? Like, what have you been doing and things like that over kind of this time period?
It's literally just been upper body.
Yeah,
I like dabbled in various bits of lower body rehab, but unfortunately just had flare ups from every single time I've tried. So I've just stopped that entirely and it's just been upper body only. Um, Unfortunately, just like you, I've gone and hurt my shoulder from all the upper body training that I have been doing. So I am currently, if you're asking me right now, not training at all, which I
Yeah,
don't have it. So
yeah,
yeah,
yes, yeah. But like you said, like the thing is, it's like one of those ones where I'm like, you've done it for so long. Do you know what I mean? It's
yeah,
not like it goes anywhere. It's not like a skill. Like you haven't lost it. It's not gone anywhere. Like
sure.
you just have different priorities, like anything. Like there's times in our life where we have to prioritize different things. And like again, like you'll come out of this and you'll be like, you'll take like going for a walk will be like you'll be so fucking grateful for it. It'll be insane. Just the smallest of tasks every day. You'll train lower body and you'll be like, oh my God, this feels so like every time you do it,
Yeah,
you'll be
yeah.
so grateful for it. Yeah.
You know, I am honestly, I would never take it for granted ever again. Even the most basic things in life, like that, going for a walk, sounds so simple, and everyone
Yeah.
takes it for granted. That's one thing that I have found myself doing a lot of over the last year is like being in the gym, looking around, seeing everyone train, and just think, like, you have no idea how amazing this is. Like, you just
Yeah.
don't. You just want to shake someone and be like, can you just like take a minute to go, wow, what am I doing right now? Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, no one feels that way when you're in the thick of it and everything's going
No.
well. You know, you just don't.
No, that's it. And I think that's the thing. It's like everyone puts their headphones on. Everyone's got their own shit going on in their lives, and like everyone has their own traumas they're dealing with in the day to day. You don't know what someone else is going through. Like we were actually just training today, and like the gym has just these big kind of TV screens up.
Yeah.
And they actually were just playing something where like one of the personal trainers passed away. It was just like a remembrance thing, like a little video of him. And you're like, but like someone that's in there every day, and you're like, I swear to God, I saw you like 2 days ago.
Oh, God.
And
That's
you're
so,
like, but it was so weird because then you just your whole mentality just changes. You're like, I'm so grateful that I'm just fucking here.
yeah,
Like it's
yeah,
such a bizarre. We take, of course we do. It's like anything. Like we take our parents for granted because they're our parents. They're right there, sort of thing, right? And it's the same thing. We just take the smaller things for granted, like
yeah,
walking, going for a
yeah,
coffee with your friends, stuff like that.
yeah.
But like lessons like this are just so vital. I think you need to go. You have to go through terrible shits to understand. That's just like life, isn't it? You don't know what happiness is if you don't know what unhappy feels like.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
It definitely taught me a lot this last year.
yeah, I
Some lessons
bet.
I didn't really want to have to learn, but you know.
No, that's it. No, not at all. How have we'll kind of well, that's too fair. Honestly, thank you for sharing because I know so many people will honestly like appreciate just honestly like your transparency and how you feel behind the scenes. Like you probably said it on and off through Instagram, but when someone can just see it, what you saying it coming out of your own mouth, it means a lot to people for sure.
Yeah.
What's been your I guess like your history like training? What have you done like have you done different like you said like you did kind of like you're on a good faith like what's your training history look like have you done more like aesthetic strength like what's your kind of
Sure.
yeah what's it been like
So I did do two bikini bodybuilding competitions back in the day in 2018. I'm not gonna lie, like I didn't have enough muscle to do it. I was quite young and naive. It wasn't cool, the cool thing to do yet. It's probably a couple of years before it got really big, you know?
yeah
Building world. So I did that then. It was like largely self-coached, plus my friend was like helping me. This was whilst I was at uni. So yeah, it was a bit all over the place, but I am very glad I did it. I don't have any regrets, but I would never in a million years do it again. Like that was my opinion on that. I just
yeah
it was so since then it's more or less just been I've just enjoyed training and I
nice
never really had any specific anything that I wanted to do. I was just like, I wanted to get stronger for myself. That particular block I was doing before, I just wanted to get better at squats. So I was like, oh, cool, I'll do this. I started swimming a lot more just purely because I wanted to get fitter and enjoy it. I never had like a thing, you know, that I was like
yeah
aiming stuff towards, but I sort of got to the point where I was like, do you know what? I'm actually okay with this. Like, I actually just like training, simple as that. So I trained for that reason. So
yeah yeah
yeah,
but that's like how everyone should. It's the same sort of thing. It's like I'm kind of the other end of it, like where I really enjoy competing now. But like it's that weird thing where like, do I enjoy the competing? Like not really, but
Yeah,
I really enjoy the training and I enjoy the process of suffering. I enjoy the process of it.
yeah,
Like just putting a tan and like doing things like that. I'm like, it's only fucking 20 minutes and I'm done. Like, do you know what I mean? But it's the
yeah,
whole kind of process of just being like, okay, I look like this shit next year. I want to look like this the next year and things like that. It's
yeah,
like weird kind of everyone always looks for the end outcome, right? So everyone wants to like, especially for young girls nowadays or anyone, but everyone's like, just want to look like a bikini girl, right? And you're like, that's cool. Like, I'm glad. But like, actually, like, really just fucking enjoy the training aspect of it.
yeah.
Because I promise you, it's like when you achieve a goal, it's a bit post
Underwear.
holiday blues. Yeah, it's really like you achieve it and you're like, you kind of look around for like confetti and balloons and you're like, okay, I still have
Yeah,
to wake up tomorrow and make breakfast and crack
yeah,
on with the day. It's like,
yeah. It's so true. And I think everyone is kind of pushed into competing these days, isn't it? It's a cool thing to do. Like, particularly young girls getting into it. They've trained for a couple of years. Oh, are you going to do a show? Like, do you know, it's like the,
yeah,
I'm just like, well, you don't have to, right? You can just actually train because you like it.
yeah,
Um, I'm very much like that. I like feeling like I'm strong. I like having good sessions. Equally, I like coming home and eating a 4 pack of cookies. Like I just like the, I just like
yeah,
balance and like I just enjoy it, and that's the only reason I do it. So
yeah.
yeah.
And it should, that's how it should be. That's exactly how it should be. What do you do in like your, because obviously I know when you kind of run your own business and like training, it does take up a lot of your life, but like what do you do? Do you do anything outside this? You're like, do you have hobbies? Like some people like obviously arts and stuff like that. Do you do anything on the side?
Not so much anymore. I know that's really bad to say. I used to
No.
be big on like playing piano, but I haven't really done it for a long time. Um, do you know what? I'm a bit like a grandma, so like I like to have a quiet life. I'm not particularly sociable. I'm so happy coming home at the end of the day, putting my feet up, getting a blanket and watching Netflix and just chilling out. Like that is honestly my idea of a great night. So
Yeah. It's
that's
But you know what's weird is like, because obviously when I outreach to people to like just chat shit and like get to know them and like all this sort of stuff, right? I think this is like the 84th episode. It's so funny how like everyone's the same. Everyone speaks the same. It's just like, but it's the same as like, I'm because obviously like that was the hard thing of kind of moving here because it was like first year you're like, it's good, like you should go out and you should go do things. And honestly, after like but then you're like, well, I don't like doing that shit anyway. So why would I do it? I'm like, on a Saturday night, I want to literally just wrap up at 6 p.m. and I'm going to maybe go out for dinner. And then even that's a big ask. So
yeah.
I'd rather actually just get some oats and watch a movie.
Yes. Exactly. The thing is, I think I've always been like this at heart, even like throughout the uni years where I was expected to like go and do things. Like I didn't actually want to. And like now I've got older, I'm like, oh, I'm actually, it's acceptable for me to do this now. So I'm
Yeah.
just, I'm honestly, it's my happy place, just being at home with a very small selection of people in my life who I really care about. And I just want to relax and chill and like maybe in the summer go paddleboarding or something or like those sorts of things I absolutely love to do, but other than that I'm such a quiet little creature. I just like being I like being chilled on my own.
Yeah. No, we literally have a running joke. Like I'm like 65 inside, so it's fine. Don't worry. I'm like, I wake up in the morning from training and I feel 65, and then I'm like, I have 65-year-old habits. So I'm exactly the same.
Yeah, yeah, I hear that.
No, what have you got? I guess what's the obviously like when you're healthy, when you're feeling good and things like that. Like, what have you got planned over? Like, do you kind of think into the future? Like, do you set yourself goals for the future and things like that? Or like, do you want to achieve things in your life or whatever that is? Obviously, of course you do, but like, is there
Yeah,
anything lined up that you really want to do?
yeah, lined up is obviously I'm gonna go do my physiotherapy masters, which is 2 years, and then I'll have to do some rotations in the NHS, and then I would really like to be able to set up my own practice and be a good physio.
Nice.
I feel like good physios are very few and far between, and I really, really want to be a good physio. So that is my plan for that. I'm very family orientated, so I really want a family, and I'm quite
Nice.
happy. Like if I've got my own little thing going on, I don't particularly want to have to do social media so much going into
Yeah,
30s, really. So that's part of the reason why I've decided to go more down that route. Obviously, I'll still have to push business side of things, but
of course.
I have to have the same pressure on it. And I also think there's a lot to do with coaching where it's like you sort of think, do I want to do this for like the whole of my life? Like, do you know what I mean? There's got to be
Yeah,
something else. So for me,
yeah.
it's that
Has
to do that now. Yeah.
has the injury been that light bulb moment for you with the physiotherapy side of things, or have you wanted to just do it before, but this was like, okay, I definitely want to do it type of thing?
Yeah, that was it for me.
Yeah,
So when I
was
did
it
my
okay?
first time around, I thought about doing physio then. I was always interested in it, but it was a longer master's. I'd have had to have gone to a different uni. And it just at that point in my life, I was like, do you know what? No, I don't want to do this now. But over the years, I've sort of gone, maybe I should have done that. Maybe in another life, I would have done that. And then
Yeah,
obviously everything this and my back, and I've had to research so much of it myself because quite frankly no one seems to have a clue, so I've just ended up sort of being forced a little bit more down that way, and I've just gone, do you know what, if I'm ever going to do it, it's going to be now. So I spent last year doing bits of work experience and trying to bolster up my application so that I could do that, and
sure.
yeah, it's worked out thankfully. So
This is like when you know your body so well, because obviously, like when you train, you eat so well, like you really do. Like as much as people say, like we kind of know exactly how our bodies feel. With they know how they should work. Have you gone to like all these different specialists and stuff like that with kind of like in a sense like you self-diagnosed but you're very sure of kind of what it is, or do you know what I mean, if that's not what it is, but like, and they've said things where you're just like, that is fucking definitely not that, like that's, do you know what I mean?
some of them have been like that for me, yeah, where you're just
Yeah,
like, I think what was really frustrating for me the first sort of 6 months of that injury was just I felt like I was going to people and I had no control over it, like at all, because I didn't know what was going on. I was going into places, sitting in front of consultants, like I needed them to help me because I didn't know what.
yeah,
And I think that for me, like, made a lot of my pain worse because I felt like I had no handle on anything. I had no control over it. Everything was in someone else's control. I was waiting for this appointment, that appointment, this person to say that, because I just didn't know what was going on. And for me, I think that was really difficult because
yeah.
I'm not someone to like, I want to be in control all the time for what I'm doing. And I find it really hard when I don't know. So it's not been easy from that perspective, but there certainly have been some professionals that have sat in the room and gone, no, like you, what you're saying right now, no.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's tricky. It is. I think I've learned on a slight different tangent. I learned a lot about pain over the last year and how wildly different that actually is from a scientific perspective to what I feel like most people know. Uh, I
okay.
was such a tangent with this, honestly, but
No,
I've had so
yeah, go
much.
for it, because I don't like,
Yeah.
because I know
So,
obviously there's going to be different types of pain, like for example, if you break your arm or versus nerve pain, like they're all different, but like what do you, yeah, go on, I'm gonna let you go for it.
so in a kind of like brief summary of it, um, all your pain is created in your brain. So it's not actually created where the physical injury is, right? So what
Hmm.
happens is your the signal gets taken up to your brain. Your brain decides whatever it wants that response to be, depending on how many signals were sent up, the intensity of that signal, and then it decides what it's going to do as a response. If you've been in pain for a long time, we've had a chronic injury, the intensity of the signals that go up to the brain is like amplified by like hundreds. So then it can
Yeah.
decide, oh crap, something awful is going on. It can create so much pain with even the smallest of triggers. Um,
Okay.
so your brain just doesn't know. It's only doing what it thinks is right. Like it actually doesn't know. So you can almost get yourself stuck in a loop of chronic pain because your brain thinks something awful is going on, but actually it shouldn't be sending that level of response. And lots of
Okay.
things go to affect that, your train of thoughts, your stress levels, your sleep, like everything feeds into that, not just the physical injury itself. So there's a lot to do with pain and pain management and psychological strategies to try and help with that too, which I've had to go into because it's just been a long time. So
What couple of things have you introduced to help because I'm guessing your pain is all the time, right?
yeah.
Or yeah. What sort of
it
things have you gone?
I was going to say it is and it isn't. Like I obviously feel it all the time, but the nerve pain that I get when it does it badly is like very intense, very sharp pain. So it's a little bit of both, I would say.
It's weird because you must actually think like because this becomes the new normal now. So like you think sitting down, there's this dull ache maybe, and then obviously if you walk, there's some. So but that becomes normal. So do you? Like you say, it's almost like a blocker to it, right? Like
Yeah,
psychology, you start just thinking this is the new normal. So what like when it's really bad, is there certain things that you do like psychologically to ease it? Like what sort of things have you learned to
yeah.
introduce?
So the hardest thing to do is try not to panic and try not to catastrophize, because it's really easy if something really hurts for you to suddenly go into the whole train of thought that goes, oh my god, like this means I'm going to be in bed all week, like this means that it's going to be XYZ, like you go through it, it's never going to get better, like your whole brain just goes down this rabbit hole, which is
Yeah,
absolutely so counterproductive from it, because actually all of that makes your pain worse and it makes the flare up that you're experiencing last longer. So
yeah,
so unhelpful to go down that route, but so easy to do. So a lot of what I've been working on is trying not to do that and trying to just almost have a level of acceptance for, okay, this is my body telling me that I've done too much, it doesn't like it, it thinks something's wrong, it's trying to warn me, but it's okay. Like, try and stay positive and trying to go, like, okay, right, this is the plan, like, this is what you're going to do, this is what your strategy is that you know is going to help this flare up, and just try and be more like that about it. And
yeah.
for me, that's really helped reduce the severity of the flare ups that I experience.
Fine.
And it's actually crazy how much it's helped as well, just with that, because I was finding before, like, my flare ups could last for weeks because I was just in this hole essentially of like
Yeah,
and stress, and it all just goes to amplify it again. Like, it's almost like a loop that you get stuck in. So being able to be more like that about it, work on kind of like your thought processes and stress management, and trying to focus on really deep breathing and things like that that are going to calm your parasympathetic nervous system, kick that into action essentially, has been really helpful. So yeah.
fine. Do
So
you did you ever get like not from this in general, but just in general, do you ever get anxiousness or anxiety in the past?
a little bit, not
Okay.
massively. I do about this though now, I have to
Yeah.
say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird one because like what you're saying, 'cause I went through a phase where I had like insomnia for like a year. So I just thought like 3 hours of sleep was normal, like all this sort of stuff. And because I remember like my mum's telling, I think my sister had anxiety. And I was like, this is when it's before it was kind of like a thing. Like when, and I was like, in my head, I was just like, just sort your shit out. Like, but it's weird. And then literally like space of like 6 months later, I started getting insomnia, anxiety, and things like that. But what you're saying is like it's exactly the same as kind of like tricks for anxiety, right? 'Cause like you say, like when you're having a pain attack, it's like a panic attack kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's exactly the same kind of thing because then my head goes to spiral, think, okay, if this happens, then this is going to happen, and you're like, that shit hasn't even fucking happened yet. Like you're
Yeah.
worried about shit that's never going to fucking happen because you're
Yeah.
building this scenario in your head, and then obviously then the breathing goes, and then obviously you can't sleep, and like you just like, no, it's good because I can relate it to where your mind goes. I can't relate it to the pain aspect. But I can relate it for what that just spiral goes into. And
Yeah.
obviously, when that trigger's consistently there, then that spiral just doesn't end. Yeah, I get it. I really do get it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
wild. Yeah,
It's been really interesting to learn about from that perspective, because, like, obviously whilst you can still have an injury going on, you can manage how much pain you're experiencing from something. And like you say, it's learning how to kind of almost trick your body into believing that just because something hurts doesn't mean that something awful is going to happen.
Mm,
And like you can rewire your brain. You've got neuroplasticity in that area. So you can unlearn those catastrophizing things and you can unlearn that pain pattern. But it obviously just takes a really long time and it takes a lot of practice and it takes those consistently having those strategies in place, which is
yeah,
really hard to do sometimes, particularly if you've had, a crap week, really bad flare up. It's so difficult to say, oh, this is fine. Like, do you know what I mean? It's almost
yeah.
like it feels fake that you're almost trying to do that to yourself, but you've kind of got to fake it till you make it and really try and implement those strategies because they do help.
But it's like you said, like we said earlier, like just your personality and your resilience, and like you say, like almost the wanting, or like, I'm gonna get better. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those ones like I'm gonna fix it, but it's 99% of the world can't do that mental switch, or again, they're not. Maybe they haven't learned how to do it, and then obviously they go down to just medication. So, like you say, right now you could be like, oh, I'm just going to take this placebo, because realistically, over like the space you had it, that medication is not going to do shit over that long period of time.
Yeah.
So your body would just get used to it and you just think it's a trigger. So you just take, I don't know, strong painkillers or whatever it is to numb the issue. And then
Yeah.
obviously every time your brain does that, it goes for that trigger again to be like, oh, like I need this painkiller to help me. But it probably
Sure.
doesn't do anything. Like,
Yeah.
I
And
don't, yeah,
they found that in a lot of studies to do with pain. Like you can give someone a placebo medicine, and if they really believe that that's going to numb their pain, it does.
yeah,
Because it's crazy. Yeah.
yeah. It's absolutely mad because it's weird because the world we live in has like, it's such a, I believe it's a weaker mentality for sure. And I think that's why I truly love fitness and I love doing like even this right when you kind of like we run our own businesses as well. It's like constantly every day, no matter how shit it is, you have to show up for someone and smile. Like you have to keep doing it. But
Yeah.
like nothing really like no one gets that. Like if they have a tough day, they reward themselves or they do comfort. Like they don't have to be resilient every single day. And it's the same thing. Like if you didn't have like this background, if you didn't have like this entrepreneurial mindset, would you be able to have the skills you're introducing to help yourself now? I don't know.
To be honest, I don't think any of these skills have come naturally to me at all. Like this last year has been hard because like we said at the beginning, I'm so hard on myself. Like I want to have this standard, and I like if I don't do that, I found introducing things like acceptance really
Yeah,
hard
it
because
is. Yeah,
I don't want to accept this level that I'm at, and I found that so difficult to do. So it's I suppose that resilience comes into it from the perspective of I won't give up no matter what it is. Like even my mom said that to me. She was like, "You're so stubborn with everything. You are not going to let
exactly,
the better of you." And I was just like, "Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
but
you know, what,
yeah,
it's one of those weird ones. Like mums just know, and it's true though. You are like again, like you do. I know you're stubborn because like what we do is exactly the same thing. You're fucking you would fight it into the ground. Do you know what I mean? So it's like one of those things. And I totally agree. My mom told me the same thing. Like I went through a phase and I think there was like, I don't remember what it was, but it was just like, it was, might have been an ex or something like that. Right. And she was like, you have to accept people for who they are. And you're like, I really struggle with that because I'm like,
yeah,
in my head, I'm like, it's almost like I want them to be the person that I want them to be
yeah,
because I know they can be.
yeah,
And then but you can't. It's that really hard thing where you have to just accept.
you do.
And it is a really peaceful place though. Once you do, everything becomes a lot easier.
It does. Yeah, it's a hard one to work on. I think a lot of people aren't very good at it. I'm certainly not good at it.
No,
Yeah,
no, I'm not. Like again, I'm a control freak. Like if something throws up me off my time in the day, I'm like, fuck, like how can I control this? And like I can't because the
yeah,
car is broken down and I can't read. I'm not a mechanic. So
yeah,
there's nothing I can do. I have to accept it.
yeah,
It's just all the little things you don't even think of, like that you have to accept, or you have to accept. Like I'm always organized. Most people aren't. It's
yeah,
okay. I just have to accept that they're late,
yeah,
whatever it is.
yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. But also, it's a great trait as well because it's like that stubbornness, it's that strong mindedness, and things like that. And again, it's the same thing. Like you probably don't think of yourself now because obviously you haven't been able to train properly. But most people, women will look at you and think, I would just like want a body like yours. Do you know what I mean? And it's like your stubbornness and your resilience and your consistent thing of every day has allowed you to build what you have. And that's
Yeah.
like an attractive trait in someone because
Yeah.
then people see that and they're like, their stubbornness, their resilience, their mindset, and things like that. Like that's what's attractive about seeing someone in shape and that has a nice body. It's not the actual body; it's like the mindset behind the individual that's achieved it.
That's so true. That's so true. It's like one of those things that you just can't buy, is it? You
Mm,
can't give way to a good physique. You just can't do it. So I always have respect for people who are in shape for that reason, just because like you had to put the effort in to do that.
yeah, it's the same thing. Like I know, obviously, like when you know exactly like it's like when you get lean and you get on a bikini stage, right? You're like they had to sacrifice cheesecake. Like
Yeah.
that's fair play. Do you know what I mean? They had to sacrifice these little things for a period of time, and it's
Yeah.
like you say, like it's like everyone admires abs and like even glutes and things like that because it's like well abs means that you're really good with your diet and you're
Yeah.
really consistent. Glutes means you go to the gym and you fucking pound your glutes because I know how hard it is to build glutes
Yeah.
type of thing. And it's just those traits that we kind of overlook them, but if you look deeply at it, that's the thing that is
Sure.
attractive and you admire in anyone, whatever their
Yeah.
traits are. If someone's a great lawyer, like they've gone to school, good, like now, a
Yeah.
physiotherapist, like they're really fucking good. They love what they do. They've studied it.
Yeah.
Maybe they've experienced it,
Yeah.
and that's what makes them who they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly. You just got to use those traits in different ways sometimes, I suppose. It's
yeah,
crazy. Like, I'm in a position now where I'm having to shrink my glutes, like, because there is basically it's trapping the nerve somewhere in my glute. And the only way professionals are telling me I could do anything about this is detrain them. And for me, that's like, fucking hell, I've spent years trying to build my
yeah,
glutes. I'm really self-conscious about it. I spend my life living in joggers because I just don't want to get my legs out at the moment because it's been that long since I've trained them.
yeah,
And that's really hard to get your head around sometimes, like really hard. But equally, I don't want to be in pain. So what do you do?
yeah,
That.
yeah. It's weird because that's that stubbornness as well. The stubbornness in you doesn't want to do it, but you know the long term it's beneficial.
Yeah,
But the nice thing is you know exactly how to get them back.
I do. I just don't know if my future of training is going to look the same.
It might
It,
not,
yeah, I think it is going to look different. And I don't think I'm going to have so much of an emphasis on size and that I did,
but
purely
also
because
as well, it's
be pain free and be able to train.
exactly. But also your life's evolving.
Yeah.
Like again, like you said, like I don't want to do this coaching shit forever. So then now, like your body doesn't need to resemble a brand that does so.
It's true. Although it is hard when you mentally know what you want out of something.
Yeah.
Like I know how I want to look. I found that really difficult to let go of this year
Mm.
because it's not been in my control. And like the only thing I've had control over has been my nutrition. And like I've been eating significantly less so that I haven't just got really fat because I haven't been moving around. So
Yeah.
like it's hard to let go of that because some people might think that's vain, but I think for me, I'd feel so much worse if I just piled on a load of weight as well. So it's
You
kind of,
would, yeah.
well,
But like you say, like the only thing that like food is still that one thing that you can control, that you can
yeah,
have control over. So like
yeah,
if you can control all the variables that you can, it will make you feel better.
yeah,
But it's weird, isn't it, as well? Because like I think now I'm like, because I came from a previous sport where I was good at it. And I labeled myself like that's what people knew me at school to do. That's what people knew me from all different things, like social media. And I stopped doing it. And I labeled myself as that's the guy that does this, and that's your label.
mm,
When actually being like, it's not really me. Like it's just what I do. And it's
yeah,
the same sort of thing. Like everyone's now like we think our bodies are what defines us.
yeah,
And I'm like, no, it's just my thing at the moment.
yeah,
Like, because like my life's going to change, it's going to evolve. I'm the same sort of thing. Like, I don't want to do this coaching shit for everyone. I want to earn enough money from it where I can open up another business. I want to get a fucking coffee shop. I want to, do you know what I mean? Like random shit like that.
yeah,
Like, So it's like our body should never. It's weird because it gives you. Everyone should always focus on their health, and like I always think, like you say, everyone should get on stage once. I think everyone should do these types of things once to experience it. I think everyone should build a body that they're so proud of and that they could potentially keep for the rest of their life. But like no one's doing like we're not doing the same shit we were doing at high school. It's like at university and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Like we've evolved and it's the same thing. I think we just tie identities down to how we look.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's always an element, like someone like yourself and me as well. Like we're always going to stay in shape somehow, some way. It might not look the
Yeah.
same, but yeah, it's just like having that element of fitness because we know it's something that actually makes us feel good mentally and physically
Yeah.
as
And
well.
also I
Yeah,
think our definition of looking good is probably what like 95% of the world would love to look like.
yeah,
But we just compare ourselves to the abnormal things because we're assholes to ourselves. We're so
yeah,
harsh on ourselves. We think we need to be at that 1% all the time. If we're not functioning like this, we're a bit of a failure.
yeah. So true. And we're always surrounded by people who also look good, though. I think that's part of the
That's
problem.
a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go out like into the real world and you're like, oh shit, like I actually look all right.
Yeah. I remember
Yeah.
doing that like because we were in Australia just for the kind of work and stuff like that. And I was like coming off flights, tired. I was like, I don't really want to go to the gym.
Yeah.
I feel a bit shit. And then you look around, you're like, I'm probably the biggest person here.
Yeah.
But then I train at a gym where I'm like, there's just Olympians just every day. And you're like, oh, fuck. So
Yeah.
you just compare yourself to, again, that 1% that is fucking not realistic.
No, it's not at all. It's not.
Yeah.
There's so much you could delve into in terms of like that psychology and body dysmorphia kind of in this industry. It's actually wild, but yeah.
And, yeah, I think it's one of those weird ones where I think it's weird. Like everyone thinks body dysmorphia and anxiousness and OCD and ADHD. They think it's like I think now we just got to a point where we diagnose it and people earn money off it. That's the only difference of it. Like we all have those things. Like if you're not anxious, if you're not scared, if you don't have these comparisons,
Sure.
you're not really a human being. Like you need to kind of like having
Yeah.
anxiousness is good because it keeps you alert and it keeps you fired up or whatever it is. It's when they become overpowering. It's the
Exactly.
same. It's all these different things. It's like we all have body dysmorphia. Fuck off. We all eat like shit tons of food. And, oh fuck, I'm fat. Like we all think that.
Don't get me started on this. Honestly, I find it hard actually as a female coach because there's a lot of talk, there's constantly a lot of talk around your relationship with food and like how you should feel and like a lot of it I just don't deep it that much. I think that's part of the problem. Like
Uh,
similar to what you just said, it's kind of like, okay, so if you sit down and you decide that you want to binge on cookies, fine. Like that should be
just
fine
do it. Yeah.
be like, oh my God, I just binged on this. Like, no, you actually just decided you wanted to eat a ton of cookies. And if you were fine with that, that's fine. Like, do you know, it's
Yeah.
not actually something that you need to really think about to that level or make a big deal of. Same thing with like, you can feel anxious, doesn't mean that you have anxiety. Like, it's not the same.
Exactly.
It's like we don't need to label everything as a thing and then it becomes a bigger deal than what it should be.
But that's the thing is then someone earns money off it because they're an anxiety coach.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, I've got those side effects. Like I need to pay this person. You're like, no, you don't.
No.
It's like I always say that, especially with food. And obviously I get it as well from like I think females have had it worse, obviously, because you've had it from the old Victoria's supermodel days. And you've like if you're not a size zero, like probably our parents and that evolution's like if you're a size 12, like that's acceptable. But anything more, 14 is too big
Yeah.
type of thing. And they're like, oh, a 16, that's way too big, like sort of thing. And it's just this like, especially like you say with food, I always say like for ever since we know humanity, we've celebrated food. Like when there was castles, people sat around and celebrated with feasts and things like that. It's always been a celebrational thing. It's always been a moment in time where you sit down as a family. And like
Yeah.
that's not changed ever. It's just in modern society, we've changed it. And it's like it's just like it's the same thing. Like I see, like oh, I'll see it from a coaching basis where people like how to manage Easter. I'm like, what do you mean how to manage Easter? I'm like, you just eat a fuck ton of eggs and it's over and done with for the day, and you just go back to normal life the next day.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need a protocol how to manage every Christmas, Easter, birthday. Like, you just like I just get mind blown by it all, to be honest.
I know, I know. But you can see why people feel like they need it because it's been kind of like almost like pushed on them that it is something that you need to worry about. And
Yeah,
actually, no, like, and it's, I have a lot of those conversations with people over sort of like the Christmas because they're so worried about it. And it's like, no, don't do that to yourself. Like, it's trying
yeah,
to unlearn things that they think are important.
yeah. God, yeah. I think yeah. It's just I wish I love the era that we're in. I really do. I'm very grateful for everything we have.
Yeah.
I do just struggle with, I guess, humanity in a nutshell and the direction it's going in sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. But again, I think it's just because like I surround myself with people like you and a very small niche of people where we all think the same. So when we hear outside voices like, why do you think like that?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's normal. And like you just think it's like I had a call with someone the other day and he's been diagnosed with depression, all this sort of stuff. But everything that like properly diagnosed, like literally sent me like letters from doctors and like medication, all this sort of stuff. And I'm like, bro, everything you told me is generally what I think every fucking day of my life.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm not good enough. I think of this. Like, I think of all these different things, but I'm like, that's the reason I'm good at things that I do and what makes me who I am.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think you're like, it's one of those words. Like, I don't think you're depressed, bro. I think you've just been told you're depressed and you believe it.
Yeah. It's a
It's
grey
that
area.
it is,
Like,
yeah, 100%.
depression is a thing when people are very much in that state, but
Yeah,
there, there's definitely a grey area around it where people might just be having shit going on and they're feeling down, which is a normal response to like things happening or just feeling you can feel depression but not have
yeah,
depression.
exactly. Yeah, like you said, I think it was because it was a male as well. And in my head, I'm like, did they ever check your bloods to see if like you have low testosterone, to see all these different things? I'm
Yeah.
like, turns out they didn't. I'm like, well, yeah, because I've had very low testosterone. I promise you, I've had thoughts been like, it'd be nice not to wake up the next morning. And I'm like, and even when I say that, I'm like, oh my God, that's not me. But it's weird because it's just of a hormonal imbalance. That's what you fucking think. It's crazy.
It's a strange conversation to have, isn't it? Because even just down that sort of route with like people talking more about suicide and things like that, obviously it's important to talk about for people who are really struggling with it, but at the same time part of my brain goes, are we just putting that idea in people's heads? And
Yeah.
there's like, don't, please don't string me up for saying that, but like part of me
No,
thinks that
no,
like children at school, like I would never have thought about committing suicide when I was in school. Like it just wouldn't
of
have
course
crossed my mind.
not.
No one was talking about it, and it just wouldn't have. Like, thankfully, I had a good life and I was okay. But like, I do
Yeah,
worry that if we're talking about things like that so much more, like, are people going to be thinking about it more and then think, oh, should
of
I do
course. Yeah.
that? Like, I
It's
don't. I
no, but it's
don't.
exactly the same when we talk about, like you say, anxiety, because like I think
Yeah,
it's great that we're more open about it. The problem is, it's like people will take it from. This is why sometimes longer form content's nicer. Like, so people hopefully can listen to everything we fucking say and be like, you say, like, if someone goes, oh, like I have these side effects, or like they tell me everything, like I feel like this and I feel like this and I feel like this, I must have this. And then again, they become that. They become like that placebo. Like, I'm like, yeah, if you swallow that pill, you will become that
yeah,
type of thing. And it's the same sort of thing. Like people go through tragedies in their life, and like I'm very much like you. I was born in like a little country farm. I've had an amazing childhood and things like that. And I see other people, and they go through fucking hell. They got dealt the wrong cards in life, but they come out of it, and they're fucking incredible human beings.
yeah,
Some
yeah.
people don't. And is it how? What is the difference of
Sure,
maybe
sure.
one person in their life? Do you know what I mean? Like you say, there's so many gray lines, but
Yeah.
it's I do believe like because it's so talked about, sometimes it's then self-labeling. It's like if you Googled, oh, like I can't walk because I've got a sore leg, that's it. You got cancer, you're gonna die.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah. I just want to clarify when I say that because it sounded awful that we shouldn't talk. I'm not saying we shouldn't talk about things like that, but at the same time, like I
oh
don't actually know how we should approach that. I don't like
no,
you have these
I don't
debates and
think
you
I don't.
obviously it's talk about for people who really are struggling, but at the same time, it does make you worry that you're just you putting it in their
Yeah,
mind. It wouldn't have even crossed their mind necessarily,
yeah.
but
No, God, I'm on this exactly, but also as well, that's hopefully that's why we have professionals in these fields, right? So
yeah,
hopefully, like if people do feel like this, they can reach out to someone that is a professional, or
yeah,
vice versa. If someone reached out and then to someone that's not, hopefully then they have the skills to reach out to someone to help them,
yeah,
and stuff like that. But again, like how do you know when it's drawing the line? Because you don't know. Because some people do it as a cry for help, when actually, do you know what I mean? So it's like it's a very faint line. It's always a very delicate line, but I never, like say, never be afraid of saying your opinion. It's just what we think. And I think it's true because everything's
yeah.
so open nowadays and you have so many resources where like I do that now. I'm like, maybe I should do that exercise, but it's the same muscle. So is it like it's exactly the same concept, but just on a mental health spectrum.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
It's a
Anyway,
man.
that's it. No, that's it. Honestly, enough, I won't keep too much of your time at all because I know we've just rambled on and stuff like that. Um, are you excited? Are you excited for your what's to come?
Yeah,
Good.
I'm really hoping I can get over this injury sometime soon. That would be
You will.
nice. But yeah, I am very excited, particularly for a little bit of a change in my career as well. I think it's needed, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah. Well, when do you know if you hear back from? Do they give you like a rough timeline when they hear back, or like if you submit to
Yeah,
universities, they
I've definitely gotten into one, so I have a plan either way.
cool.
I've got the it's quite competitive to get onto a physiotherapy course, so they
Yeah.
do quite did interview processes for them. So I've got another one on Tuesday, so we'll see how that goes, and then I can
Cool.
just work up kind of where I want to go, what my options are. So
Is it going to be? Because I this again, is it online or is it all university based? Because it has to be practical, right?
yeah, it's a mixture. So you have to do 14 weeks of placement each year as well. So it's going to be some hospital based, some on campus based, and obviously some self learning. And I'm also going to have to obviously continue coaching full time as well. So it's going to be heavy, but it'll be good.
Yeah, it's amazing. Is there where was the one that you got into already?
Chichester.
Okay, so that's not too far from. Is
Yeah.
it far from? It's not
It's
too
not too
far.
far. No. I'm gonna move closer to whichever one I go to anyway. So
That's kind
yeah.
of what I was going to ask. Yeah. Is there any particular one that you want to? Do you want to change the scenery where you live?
Uh, Possibly Bournemouth, I think would be
Oh,
nice
nice.
to live. I don't know yet about that uni just because I'm still waiting to hear back. So it's kind of one of those where it's like, we'll see. But no, to
Yeah.
be honest with you, like I'm at that age, I don't really care about the uni experience. I've been and done that. So it's
Oh,
kind of
no.
I just want to live somewhere that I like living and be done with it and obviously be able to set up my own career afterwards. So that's the
Yeah,
plan.
you will, 100%. I'm no, I don't, I have comment. Yeah, there's no doubt you'll absolutely fucking kill everything you want to do. So there's no doubt, and it'll be good because then we get to follow the journey with you. So it's cool.
I
Easy,
know.
my love. As it's the 1% podcast, what is that one piece of advice, that one tip that's going to take someone that one step further forward tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, like that one step every day. What's that one piece of advice you'd give someone?
Yeah. I think the thing that makes the biggest difference to absolutely everyone is just like positive thinking in the morning. I swear to God.
Okay,
Thing that I always try and do. I'll wake up and I'll go, okay, what is it that feels good about today? Like I honestly think if you can do that, it just sets you up for a really successful day. And it sounds so cheesy, and you probably think like
nice.
make much of a difference. But I've been really trying to do that recently. You know, when you're around people who are just positive, vibrant, like life affirming people, and you just listen to them, you're like, wow, like I just want to be you. Like, I just think that's the nicest quality anyone can have. So, like, I
Amazing.
honestly think if you can try and do that yourself and just try and think more positively about what is going to happen in the day, it just sets you up for a better time, honestly.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just nice because like 84 episodes, like obviously I've heard some of the same ones reoccur, but that's the
Yeah.
first time I've heard that. Like first thing in the morning, wake up and like think something positive. I've not heard that.
Yeah. I've been trying to do it recently. I honestly think it's made a
It's good.
difference. Just go like, okay, right, not just waking up feeling as, oh, same shit another day. Like, you know, it's just trying to
Yeah,
actually, okay, right, what are we gonna do to make today feel a bit better? So yeah, that one.
I love it. I love it, my love. And where can people find you, follow what you do, all that sort of stuff? Where's the best place if someone contacts you and stuff like that?
I'm mostly Instagram based, so Philly_Fleming on Instagram, and then you can get contact with me there or find my website on there as well.
Sweet, easy, my love. No, honestly, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and thank you for being so open as well.
We've literally talked about so much. Such a
I know.
variety.
I'm never. Do you know what? It's one of those. If someone's like edits it and they like, oh, can you put like, what's the thing on YouTube where you put like at 1 minute, 2 minute things you
Oh,
talk about? I'm like, I fucking never do that. No way.
for you from today's
I would
episode.
never do it. There's probably like an AI thing that can do it, but I just upload it.
On it. Cool. It's been fun. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.